Hello everyone, welcome to Superhero Recaps. In a world where superhero exists, and have fought numerous battles for Earth in the past, we see that another alien species has been living among humans for the past 30 years, disguised as human beings. They initially felt like a threat when came to Earth, however, became allies of humans and helped them in projects over the years. This alien species is named Skrulls. The series begins with a character named Everett Ross talking to Agent Prescott, where Prescott thinks that all the major attacks that they have seen in the past few years have been from the same group. Prescott thinks that it's the Skrulls who are attacking in all these areas, and he wants Everett Ross to call Nick Fury and tell him all this. Nick Fury is a character that we have seen in the past, and he is the man behind bringing all heroes together. Ross tells Prescott that he can't call Fury without any evidence. This is when Prescott gives him the evidence, to which Ross's reply is he will look into it. Prescott realizes that something is off about this and he attacks Ross. Ross kills Prescott and runs from there. When we see a burglar chasing him, Ross calls Maria Hill for backup support, who is also an agent and an important character from the past. When the burglar keeps following Ross, he jumps off from the building and dies. It is then revealed that it was a Skrull disguised as Ross all this time, and nobody knew about it. And the burglar following him was Talos, who was the first alien that arrived on Earth and became allies with Nick Fury. Nick Fury has been on a space station all this time, trying to make a space station that can keep human beings safe. And he is now back on Earth to finish a business that only he can end. Nick Fury lands out of the space station and meets Maria Hill. Maria then takes him to their hideout in Moscow, where he meets Talos. Talos tells Fury that his wife has passed away, and Fury shares his condolences. Talos then tells Fury that Skrulls are revolted against Talos and are now planning to execute all human beings so they can conquer this planet for their own. Talos also tells him that this is all happening because Fury did not find them a new home as was promised in the alliance that was made 30 years ago. Fury is confused about what to do since the new Skrulls leader is Gravik and Talos' daughter Gaia is also on their side. Fury decides to take a walk. This is when he is kidnapped and taken hostage by another character named Sonya Falsworth. Sonya is an old friend of Fury's and interrogates him on his relationship with Skrulls. Fury plants a secret camera in her home to see what she is up to as well. Sonya, without getting any answers, leaves Fury and they part ways. On the other hand, we see a character named Agent Rhodes talking to the President on Fury's return. Rhodes is an advisor to the President and a superhero himself by the name War Machine. We also see Gaia, who is in Moscow, accepting a refugee Skrull and taking him back to their base, which is named the New Skrullos. This is where the majority of Skrulls live without any human presence. This is also the place where they keep all the bodies of the disguised characters. These Skrulls can not only disguise themselves as other people but take their memories as well. These Skrulls want to take over Earth and claim it for themselves, killing all humans. Fury and Talos believe that Gravik is going to bomb Moscow and they need to stop it. Fury also tells Talos that if Sonya finds out about the bombing, she will attack New Skrullos, killing the Skrulls there. They need to get to Gravik so he can stop his operation. Gravik's right hand, Pagan, orders Gaia to get the bomb one of their Skrulls in mid-city. Fury and Talos gets there too but are unable to stop the dealing. Fury although kills this Skrull when he attacks Talos. Talos and Maria try to trace Gaia since they want to tell her to stop all this. Talos eventually gets to her and begs her to drop the plan and not deliver the bomb to Gravik. Gaia tells him that she will mark the bag with the bombs so they can trace it and stop the attack. Talos then lets Gaia go. Gaia delivers the bomb to Gravik without mentioning her meeting her father Talos. The next day, a bombing is supposed to take place. Maria, Fury, and Talos follow different people with marked bags so they can stop the attack. However, when they finally get to the marked bags, they are empty, revealing that Gaia was never on their side. Ultimately, Gravik bombs the whole place and Fury is now hallucinating because of exhaustion. Gravik takes Fury's disguise and shoots Maria Hill, killing her, while Maria thinks that it was Fury that killed her. The second episode then begins with a flashback sequence when Skrullos was initially destroyed and some Skrulls took refuge on Earth. Fury promised them that he will find them a new home in outer space with the help of Captain Marvel, who is another superhero from the universe. In exchange, He wants the Skrull's service to help the United States in its missions. The Skrulls agreed to this arrangement. This is when Fury first time meets Gravik, who was a young teen back then, who survived the Kree attack on their planet. Talos drags Fury away from Hill's body. While traveling back to their base, he asks Talos about the destruction of Skrullos and whether Talos has any hidden information about it. Talos explains that when Fury didn't provide a new home planet, he signaled the scattered Skrulls across the galaxy to come to Earth. Talos mistakenly thought that Earth would welcome a new species with shape-shifting abilities. Fury tells him that it was stupid of him to think that human beings would be willing to coexist with aliens when they can't coexist with themselves. During a heated argument, Talos points out that Fury didn't mind the Skrulls being here when they were doing work without pay for humans. But now that the Skrulls are fighting for their own rights to stay on Earth, Fury is upset about it. And he separates his way from Talos. According to the news, around 2,000 innocent people have died in an explosion, and a radical group called Americans Against Russia is suspected. A Skrull named Martin Wallace has been arrested. Of course, the world leaders are now talking about the incident, which includes UK's Prime Minister and the United Nations officials. It is later revealed that these characters were Skrulls as well, who disguised themselves as leaders. As the story passes, we realize that Skrulls have quite a lot of power over humans. These leaders have now accepted Gravik as their new leader and are willing to serve him and conquer Earth, except one of them, who thinks that war is not the solution. On the other hand, we see Gaia, who is investigating Gravik and his plans. This is when she walks into a secret room with a huge machine that generates light when it is operated. It is not revealed what this machine is used for. We also see Colonel Rhodes, who is in a conference, where he is being blamed for Fury's actions and what he did in Moscow. Rhodes tries to defend him, however conversation doesn't go anywhere. Rhodes later meets Fury at a cafe where Fury hints Rhodes is conscious since Skrulls are everywhere these days. Rhodes tells him to end this nonsense and tells him that Fury is fired and they can't cover up for him anymore. Fury tells him that he cannot fire him. No one can. He will finish what he has started. We also see Sonya Fallsworth again, who is interrogating the Skrull that was captured at the scene. She asks him what Gravik's next plans are. He tells her that Gravik is building something in the base that can give Skrulls superpowers. This is what Gaia discovers at the base as well when she is investigating what that machine is. Turns out, Skrulls have DNAs of some super characters that have fought on Earth, which they will use to give themselves powers, making them invulnerable. While she is looking for the files, Gravik catches her on the scene. However, she covers the story that she was looking into new Skrull recruits. Gravik then takes Pagan and gets to the cold storage where the other Skrull is being taken hostage. Both parties get into the shooting rounds where Gravik and Pagan survive. When they get to Martin, where they figure out that Martin has spilled the beans and they decide to kill him. Martin was also expecting this since he is accustomed to the Skrull culture. Gravik tells Gaia that he will kill her too if she ever betrays him. At the end of episode 2, we also see Fury entering a home in a remote location where he meets a Skrull and turns out that was his wife. Fury and this Skrull have a strong connection, but their interactions have been kept hidden from both S.H.I.E.L.D. and the rest of the galaxy. On the other hand, we see Beto is assigned a mission involving infiltration. He casually asks his superior if causing chaos among humans will benefit the Skrulls, to which Gravik replies that this is a small price to pay for a better cause. Gravik plans to launch a nuclear strike on a UN aircraft using a Russian submarine, and the Skrulls will be disguised as Skrull generals. He also invites the council members to the Skrull base, showing them the machine they have been building here, which can give those powers. We also see a flashback where we see how Fury met his Skrull wife, Vera, having the human name Priscilla. We see how they met back then and Fury fell in love with her. This is the first time since the blip that Fury has come back home. While Fury was going all this time, Vera became vulnerable and was in contact with Gravik all this time. This is when Vera's phone rings and Fury gives her space to talk. Gaia is also weary of Gravik now since he is going insane, and she overhears him about his plan to launch the nuclear strike. Gaia tells this to her father Talos using a secret phone, and Talos then meets Gravik telling him to stop all this because this can end the Skrull species altogether. Talos points out that as much as human beings are divided among themselves, they will unite against the common enemy, and Gravik should not risk all this. Gravik ignores Talos' advice and threatens him with Gaia's name. Talos stabs his hand with a knife and we see it getting recovered, revealing that he already has superpowers. They all come back to Russia, and Fury meets Talos at a bar where he asks for his help one more time. Fury, being condescending, tells him that he has been covering for Skrull mess for over 30 years, and Talos reminds him he has been a puppet for Fury and other United States agencies. Talos demands that Fury should be thankful to him and the Skrull army for serving them. Fury also calls Sonya and tells her that the High Command might be Skrull impersonators as well, and they need to do something to stop the nuclear strike. Talos and Fury reach the control site and enter the area where they find the Skrull that is there to order the strike. Talos tells him to stop it, but he is adamant, and since the strike can only be stopped using a password, he cannot impersonate as well. In desperation, Talos has to call Gaia to get the information about the passcode. Gaia is inside the Skrull base research facility, and she somehow manages to provide them the passcode that Fury and Talos used to save the world temporarily. Gaia then realizes that betraying Gravik like this will have severe repercussions, so she tries leaving the Skrull base for good, saving her life. While she is trying to escape, she finds Gravik right in the middle of the tracks, who was expecting Gaia there. Gravik reveals that he had a hunch about her being the traitor, and he planned all this so he can be sure. He tells her that he can destroy the world without the strike as well, and ends up killing her. Meanwhile, we see Vera, who is out of her home, getting her gun back from the vault, where she gets a call about the meeting's whereabouts. It feels like the loneliness took a toll on her, and she decided to be with her species instead of being good to humans. She then visits the decided location, where we see her with Colonel Rhodes, telling Priscilla to kill Fury since he is creating hurdles in their plans. This reveals that Rhodey is a Skrull as well, and they know that Fury is with her. Fury is listening to all of this through a secret microphone that he planted on her, showing that he did not trust her completely as well. We also see that Gaia did not die when Gravik shot her. Instead, she was anticipating something like this already, and she got herself the powers of the extremists from the Iron Man 3, giving her the ability to heal. Gaia goes to her father and asks him what the plan is now, when Talos replies that he goes to the president and pleads with him to let us stay here among humans. Gaia thinks that this plan is pathetic and her father is a coward. Vera is now back from the meeting with Rhodes, and she gets home and sees Fury, who is just there to confront her as to why she betrayed him and embraced the Skrulls to kill humans. Fury and Vera both take out their guns and fire the shot, however both of them don't shoot each other, revealing that they are not ready to kill each other and they will fight this battle together. Fury leaves from there and tells her to be safe since the Skrulls will come after her now. And we see Rhodes now, who is revealed to be a female Skrull. When Fury gets out of the shower, Fury is waiting for him with some alcohol. Fury tells Rhodes that the Security Council has Skrulls in it, and Rhodes denies it by saying that it is a stupid theory. Fury asks him to let him work as an agent, and Rhodes tells him that he can't do that since there is a video of him killing Maria Hill. He tells Fury to leave and drink from the bottle that Fury brought him. Turns out it's laced with a liquid tracking device so that Rhodes can be followed. President Ritson arrives in England for the meeting with Russians, where Rhodey greets him, and the convoy hits the road. While Fury and Talos are secretly following them from afar, Gravik and his men attack the convoy from a chopper and start firing at the president's vehicle. There is an ambush there when Fury and Talos reach as well and try to secure the president. While doing so, Talos gets shot, and gets revealed to everyone that he is a Skrull. Fury is able to save the president, however, Gravik, disguised as an army official, stabs Talos, killing him in the middle of the street. Since the president's life is at stake, Fury just leaves Talos there and escorts the president to the hospital. President Ritson is rushed to the ICU, and Fury whispers in his ears not to trust Colonel Rhodes. Fury guards the ICU door, trying to protect the president's life. Meanwhile, back at the Skrull base camp, we see that Pagan, who was the right hand to Gravik, has started questioning his methods and leadership, telling him that he should kill Fury when he had the chance, and he has no plan on how to save them. Gravik sees it as a revolt within his own kind, and instead of explaining himself, kills Pagan, sending the other Skrulls a message to not screw with him. Now that they were not able to kill Ritson, Gravik then tells Vera to keep the president alive and tell him that the attack was from the Russians, who had the help of Skrulls. He also told him to tell the president about the new Skrullos and ask them to bomb it. Since the new Skrullos is in Russia, this will ignite a nuclear war between Russia and US. Rhodey then visits the hospital where Fury warns him about killing the president, when he tells Fury that the video of Gravik killing Maria Hill posing as Fury has been uploaded on the internet and he is a fugitive now. We also see that back at the base camp, Beto has now attacked Gravik along with the rest of Skrulls, but they are unable to defeat him since he is too powerful and also possesses superpowers now. Gravik kills Beto in front of everyone, giving the Skrulls a message once again, not to question his authority. This shows that how evil Gravik really is and that he is now just a cruel conqueror, not a wise leader. Nick Fury secretly meets Gaia now and shares his condolences with her. He tells Gaia that they won't let Talos' sacrifice go to waste, and they will win against Gravik. Here Gaia reveals to Fury that they have built a machine in the Skrull base and Gravik is looking for something called the Harvest. It now starts making sense to Fury and tells Gaia to be ready when he calls her. They then part ways again. On one hand, we see that Rhodes is now talking to President Ritson telling him that it was the Russians who attacked the convoy and suggest they should bomb the Skrull base, just like Gravik told him to. Ritson is however confused about this decision, does not want to rush it. On the other hand, we see Nick Fury meeting Sonya again, in Finland, where he asks her to take him to a place. In the conversation, Fury tells her that Rhodey is also a Skrull, which is a surprise to Sonya since she was in coordination with Rhodey for quite some time. Sonya asks Fury why is he here. He tells her that Gravik wants the harvest from him as leverage to not destroy the world, and he going to give it to him, although he hid it in Finland for all this time just so Gravik cannot lay hands on it. Upon asking, Fury tells her that harvest is a DNA serum that has the DNA from all the Avengers that fought on Earth. After the wars on Earth were over, Fury would send these Skrulls to collect samples from the war zone. Gravik was the leader of this Skrull task force, which is why he knows about this. Fury, after collecting the harvest, dresses up, puts his iconic eye patch on, and calls someone over the phone, telling them to be ready now. The last episode of the series begins and Fury calls his wife Priscilla, apologizing for the mistakes he has done in the past and for being unavailable for so long since Fury is going to a war where he doesn't know if he will return. Fury wishes her luck and ends the call. Fury then goes to the Russian border and uses a decoy car to distract the guards while shooting them, trespassing into Russia, and going to the Skrull base. At the Skrull base, Fury sees that it's empty and also the place where Beto was killed because the area looks like chaos. Because of the radioactivity in this area, Fury cannot breathe properly and starts getting weak. He then enters the chamber which has the Super Skrull machine and Gravik is already waiting for Fury there. Fury and Gravik have a heated discussion on how he used Skrulls to kill and hurt people, and how the state exploited the Skrulls and never paid them back. Gravik also reminded him that they were promised a home and Fury did not live up to his end of the bargain. Fury in response tells him that when he made this promise, in just the first few years, he realized that there is no home out there in space, and it's better that they find their home here. However, he also knew that humans will never accept Skrulls as their own and there will always be a feud, which resulted in Skrulls ultimately living in the shadows. This also reveals why Nick Fury was back from his space station in the first place, because only he has to stop this because he is the one who started this as well. On the other hand, we see that Rhodes is still gaslighting the president for attacking Russian soil since they attacked him. However, Ritson believes that this is an act of aggression and they should not make any hasty decision since it's a question of national security, especially when Russians are denying it. This is when Rhodes receives a call from Sonya that Fury has gone insane and is entering the hospital to attack President Ritson. They shift the president to a much safer level. However, we see that all the guards are being tranquilized by an unseen character. On the new Skrullos, however, Fury accepts his defeat and gives the harvest to Gravik, which Gravik puts in the chamber and decides to get all the powers of the Avengers while Fury is lying there as well. When the process is completed, Gravik emerges as the strongest character in the series and starts hitting Fury. To his surprise, Fury is able to fight him back and match his strength, which is weird since the operation can only induce powers to Skrull DNA and not humans. It is then revealed that it was actually Gaia. Disguised as Fury, and she now has the same powers as Gravik. There is a fight sequence between them since Gravik is responsible for the death of both her parents. On the other hand, while all the guards are tranquilized except Rhodes and President, Sonya appears along with real Nick Fury. Sonya and Fury try to convince Ritson that Rhodey is a Skrull, and Ritson is confused about whom to believe. Rhodey then shoots at Sonya, disarming her, just when he gets a headshot from Fury, revealing that he was a Skrull after all. Ritson is scared looking at all this since he was being advised by a Skrull for all this time. Fury tells Ritson to call off the airstrike that Rhodey has ordered, and Ritson calls it off instantly. On the other hand, Gaia finally kills Gravik by blasting off him with Captain Marvel's powers. Gaia then rescues all the people that Skrulls had held hostage, including the real Everett Ross and the real Colonel Rhodes. We also see that Ritson has made a public statement about the Skrulls' secret invasion, and orders to develop an anti-alien policy from now on. He also claims that they will hunt down the Skrulls wherever they are. During this massacre, humans get killed as well, since people think they are the Skrulls and end up shooting them. After all this mess, we also see Sonya Falsworth reaching out to Gaia for her help in future missions, just like Nick Fury reached out to the Iron Man at the end of the movie, recreating that scene with feminine characters this time. While Fury is going back to his space station, he calls the President, telling him that he has created a new mess after making that statement, to which Ritson replies, if he is so concerned about Skrulls, take them off the planet. Fury goes to the same remote place where he landed to go back to the ship now, where he gets visited by his wife, who is there to say goodbye. However, Fury convinces her to come along as they need to talk to the Kree Empire and negotiate peaceful terms with them. His wife then turns into her real self, and they kiss, showing that she does not want to hide her real self anymore. They go to the space station and the story ends. If you like this video, check out our channel for more superhero recaps. We do all kinds of stories, from the ones you have seen to the ones you have never heard of. Thanks for watching. Superhero Recaps, signing off.